It was devastating, destroyed the future for us, really.
I've jumped through all these hoops and now they put a hoop in front of me and set it on fire. It was ridiculous.
Our little boy is 11 months old, and as soon as his dad said bye to him at the doors of the airport, for 2.5 hours in the airport, my little boy was shouting, "Dada, Dada, Dada," the whole way home. And I felt like such a bad parent, but I had to return because of work.
This was personally like my heart was ripped out and it was stamped all over the floor. What are they doing to us as British citizens, dictating to me that I should not fall in love with a foreigner?
I felt my heart drop. It was anger and despair, frustration, horror, shock that this was now my reality.
It's tearing families apart.
Since 2012, British citizens have had to earn a minimum income of £18,600 if they wanted to live together in the UK with a non-British partner or spouse, even if they have a child together. On top of that, they have to pay thousands for visas and a health surcharge every 2.5 years for 5 or 10 years.
I live in quite a low income area of the UK, and despite me being degree educated, I found it was a long battle just to get to 18.6.
We were working towards saving for the fees, and we were also working towards hitting the minimum income requirements, so everything was on target for us to be able to apply for the visa.
In December 2023, the government suddenly announced they would be increasing the threshold to £29,000, with the intention of raising it further to £38,700 in 2025. Nearly half of the UK don't earn £29,000, including 1/4 of the government's own Home Office staff.
I need to suddenly find double the salary that I couldn't already find. Everything felt very hopeless all of a sudden.
For some, another way to sponsor a partner was by having £62,500 in savings.
We've spent years saving the £62,500 in order to do the savings route. It's a huge amount of money in England, and even more so over here in Turkey.
However, now the savings route is a whopping £88,500. For young couples at the start of their careers, meeting these requirements is now almost impossible.
Emotionally, we're heartbroken. We want to start our life together as a young couple. We want to buy a house, raise a family.
I am a full-time university student as well as working part-time in a care home. How can someone who's in full-time education as well as working part-time meet that?
For mums forced into single parenting because of the rules, the juggle is even harder.
I am physically saving every last penny to pay for the horrendous visa fees and the increased health surcharge.
I can't count on my husband because he's not allowed to stay in this country. It's all on me to find this job, to take care of our children, to get my husband over, to save the money for the visa costs.
I'm just about scraping to be able to go to work and to afford nursery, and that's 3 days a week. I can't put him in anymore, and I can't work any more hours. They're basically saying, well, you've chose a foreign person to fall in love with, you leave the country.
For many families who are living abroad, coming home has become even more difficult.
I would have to work 2 jobs in order to earn that amount of money, and we just haven't been able to make that move. For our children, that would mean moving to another country and then not seeing their mother.
My child was effectively exiled to Canada 8 years ago because she was unable to earn enough to sponsor her Canadian spouse. I'm old and ill, and it really upsets me to think that my family may only be reunited a few times again in my lifetime.
The new threshold will also block those who found love later on in life from coming home.
My daughters live in the UK and all of my friends live in the UK. I mean, Janice wants to work there and we would be contributing to society. I feel that we are being penalised because we're a soft touch.
For same-sex couples, life in the UK could become more challenging.
I cannot live over there with him due to same-sex relationships being punishable by the death sentence. So the only option is for my partner to come over here to live with me in the UK so that we can be together.
The impacts of these rules are far-reaching for loving couples and families.
The mental impact this is having on myself, my husband and my 3-year-old son, who doesn't understand why his daddy cannot come and live and be a family with us.
It's affected both me and my wife so much. Mentally, physically, emotionally.
More than anything, I was confused. I didn't understand a lot of it. It made me really angry.
There were times when we just sit and talk about it and despair, and there's other times when we just sit in silence thinking about it. It's always bothering us.
There's just no way that we can save that much money.
It is just absolutely devastating. No one knows what the future holds.
They can't hug him, they can't go for runs in the park, they can't be tucked in bed at night. I can struggle through. My children shouldn't have to.
The freedom to love who you choose should be your right, no one else's.